So we're going into summer right now. We've got a couple of hot days ahead of us. Today they're telling us it's going to be about 97 degrees. Well, it's just serendipitous because we wound up ordering some Spanish food. Oh, Kiki has a lot to say about things. We're ordering some Spanish food, and it should get delivered today. Mostly we've got jamon. We already have in the cabinet some Marcona almonds, and we have some manchego cheese, which is cheese from the La Mancha area of Spain. It's kind of like a sharp cheese. We're going to make a charcuterie board of Spanish ham and cheeses and fruits and almonds, and to drink with it, we're going to do what's a classic Spanish drink. It's a sangria. And sangria is not something that's drunk in Spain all the time, but on hot days, sometimes, if you're sitting around the plaza, you want something nice to drink, you might have a glass of sangria, you might have some tortilla español, which is like a wedge of a Spanish omelet type of thing. And I used to do that. I was in school in Spain about now 40 years ago. It's really scary. And so I used to sit around the plaza, watch the little children run around and drink sangria and eat the tortilla español. So when I was there, I got a recipe for Spanish style sangria, and I'm going to make it here today. It's essentially a wine punch, and you start out with Spanish wine. The type of Spanish wine you use can be any of several types. Rioja is usually the best Spanish wine. You want a good wine, you don't want your best, but you want a good one. This is just a very average, good Spanish Rioja. We're going to start with that. You can also use other Spanish wines that aren't as woody, but this one has a lot of a wood flavor. I like the punch that it gives to the sangria. You start out making the sangria the day before. You take your bottle of Spanish wine and you pour the entire bottle into a container. Now into that you want to add 4 to 6 tablespoons of sugar, because sangria is slightly sweet. So you want to put 4 to 6 tablespoons of sugar in there. I've measured out, pre-measured 5 tablespoons. And so that's in there. Then you want a stick of cinnamon. Throw that in there. And then you want to add fruits in there. Now sangria again is a wine punch. Spanish wine punch uses several different kinds of citrus fruit. And so here we're going to slice up an orange, and we're going to slice up a lemon, and we'll wind up throwing that into the punch. You'll also want to use a roughly 2 tablespoons of lemon juice into the punch. You want it to have this nice citrus tang to it. And you get your sweet and tangy flavor of your sangria that way. I'm going to slice up the rest of that orange later. And then you want to take a lemon and you want to slice the lemon in it. Now I'm just using the parts of the lemon with the pith in it, not the pure white, but I want to have the actual meat of the lemon in there. And when you drink it, you're going to drink it with some of these slices of citrus fruit in it. You want to pull the seeds out. Never good to have a bunch of seeds in your punch. And then I'll finish slicing up that lemon and throw the rest of the slices in there as well. Then you want to take, now this is something that not everybody uses, but I like Asian pears. They have a nice sort of a neutral flavor, and you want to probably cube them up and throw the cubes of the Asian pear into the punch. also slice up the rest of that pear. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and leave all of these fruits and the sugar, the brandy, or I'm sorry, the sugar, the cinnamon stick, and all of the flavors in there, and you want to let it marinate overnight in the refrigerator. Then later on tomorrow, when it's time to serve the sangria, you're going to add some brandy, and you're going to add some water or sparkling water, whichever you prefer, and that makes up your sangria. And you're going to wind up having that along with your Spanish charcuterie plate. It's a really pleasant thing, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, once you've got all your fruits, your sugar, your cinnamon in there, and your fruit juice, you want to give it a good stir and make sure all your fruits are covered with the wine. Then you want to put it in the refrigerator and let it marinate overnight so the fruits get the wine flavor, the wine gets the fruit flavor, and the cinnamon flavor, and then tomorrow you're going to have a really nice sangria for your hors d'oeuvres, your tapas, whatever you want to do. Mixture has been marinating overnight, and now we add the final ingredients. Somewhere between a half and a quarter cup of brandy. I'm going to go like right in the middle of the two of those. You want to add the brandy. This is a fortified wine punch. You also want to add in either a cup of water or a cup of sparkling water, depending on whether you want your sangria sparkling or not. I like just regular water, and so I'm going to add that in. Now you want to put in a cup of water, or like I said, a cup of sparkling water. And then you mix the whole thing up. And it's ready to go. You take some glasses. You can put it in a pitcher if you want as well, but we're going to just put it directly into the wine glasses. And I've got one here for me, one here for Young. Put some ice, that keeps it cold. And then you put the wine in there. And there you've got the fruit and the wine and the brandy, and that makes your sangria punch. Now for those of you who grew up in the 70s like I did, you're going to remember Madria Sangria. They also have other sangrias that they sell in bottles, mostly in Spain. You can find them in supermarkets and stores. Those, they're terrible. Just make your own. It's so much better, and as you can see, it's not that hard to do, and it tastes so much better. Okay, now to go with the sangria, we normally you would have some kind of Spanish tapas. We didn't want to really cook separate tapas. Maybe we'll do that sometime. But here we decided to do a nice Spanish-style charcuterie board. I had ordered some jamon from a local Spanish food store, and UPS said they delivered it but didn't, so I had to order instead some different jamon from a local supermarket. Now this is a product of Spain, so it is a jamon. It's not the bellota, which is the finest ham that they make over in Spain. The bellota is pigs that are fed on black acorns only. This is jamon iberico, which is the next lower level, but it's still a nice jamon. Jamon is different than the American ham that you're used to. It's not as salty. It's not marinated, it's dried. And you want to have the jamon on the plate. It's a little bit more like a prosciutto than it is like an American ham. Ah, this is separated with paper. Yeah. Now along with the jamon, we have a number of different things on here. Some are very traditional Spanish products. Here is what's called Manchego cheese. Manchego means the cheese comes from the land of La Mancha, which is in the center of Spain. It's got a nice sharp flavor. The Spanish have a tendency, when they have their cheese, they'll have it with fruit. And also what's called membrillo. Membrillo is a traditional Spanish accompaniment to cheese. It's a fruit paste. It's made out of quince, and quince is something like a pear. It's sweet, it's a little tangy, it's a nice thing. We also have the dried apricots, which are going to go next to there. We also have some regular cheddar cheese and some apples. The two of those go together. We sliced up a baguette, and so you can put those, whatever you want, on the baguette. Then we have some Spanish olives. We have Marcona almonds, which are really nice tasting almonds. They're actually fried almonds, but they're very good. You can also get them with rosemary on them, but they're fine just plain and a little salty. We have some sauerkraut. We have Spanish olive oil. The last time we were in Spain, we wound up going to a place that served breakfast that gave you lots and lots of little jars of olive oil, which you use to make a traditional Spanish breakfast called pan tomate, which is bread with tomato sauce and olive oil on it. So we took a whole bunch of those jars of olive oil that they gave us and took it home. We now have lots of Spanish olive oil in the house. And that's basically our charcuterie plate. It's going to go extremely well with the sangria. I'm going to start with the jamon. It's very hard to find jamon here in the US. So that jamon, it's slightly salty, it's very chewy. It's a dried ham, it's not a marinated or a pickled ham. It's a really nice salty and chewy flavor. It's very nice. And it goes very well with the nice sangria. I'm going to have my Spanish tapas.
Drink sangria. No?
You need to wait until I finish my food before I'm drinking something.